Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. This is Shuyler Mao with the Knicks from Start to Finish podcast. I am joined here today by
Luke.
We need more info.
What's your last name, buddy?
Luke Larson.
Okay, and where do you work here?
I work in the small leather goods department and
Cool.
in the office and in production.
Cool. Sir, Grant?
My name is Grant Pemberton.
Okay. Rebecca?
Rebecca Burnham, customer service manager.
Yep. So we got the, full crew here. We added Luke in here because he's been doing a lot of cool stuff in our small goods department and is a wonderful resource for us here. Luke, I know you're fairly active on the forums and on Reddit.
Yep.
Obviously, we appreciate that most of the time anyway.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. But anyway, great to have you here. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
So today we're going to do a Q&A. We haven't done one in a while. I think that was our first episode, and we're going to do another one. So I'll just kick it off. So the first question here is, why do toe caps cost more? And why no rebuilds on Chelsea's? The first one I will tackle. Why do toe caps cost more? Because they use more leather, and they use the best parts of the leather. That's the main reason. It is also a decent amount of more labor in terms of the actual lasting and stitching process, because they do get pretty darn thick. So we don't use like a false toe cap like a lot of people do. We do 2 full-on pieces of leather, and they take up a lot of space, and they can be challenging to get like aligned correctly and wrapped around the last and nailed down. So it just takes a little more time to make it. I think like a segue on this is like, it's why we don't do toe caps for Wicket and Craig, is because the Wicket is very expensive. The yield is also smaller because the hides that we get are smaller. And so it just basically is like 50% more cost from a boot leather standpoint. Because you're basically taking away a vamp that could be used for another boot. So we're still working on some solutions to that, like longer term. But that's the short of it. Grant, you want to speak to why no rebuilds on Chelsea's?
Yeah, I think there's some things that just don't make a lot of sense. Can anything be rebuilt? Yes. Does it make sense to rebuild everything? No. Essentially, the vamp of the Chelsea is probably 60% of all of the leather. Actually, maybe even more. So when you take that vamp off, you're essentially replacing, 75% of the leather. So it can be done. We've opted not to make it an option currently. And I don't think that's set in stone, I'll be honest. So it could be something that we pursue in the future as we start producing more.
Cool. Okay. Next question. Any plans for some house slippers? I absolutely don't need them, but would buy them if they were offered.
I love the idea. I want some Knicks house slippers. We made Shuyler a pair of house slippers for Christmas. What was your take on them, Shuyler?
They were interesting. You guys used like a full like leather midsole, and I think was it a leather sole?
Yeah, leather outsole.
Mm-hmm. It was pretty stiff.
So you hated them?
Well, I liked it. So it was one so Grant and Nathan made them, and I would say one person had made one that fit, and the other person made one that didn't fit, and so it was just tough for me to have a pair of shoes that I could only wear on one.
I talked to Nathan about his
foot.
Lasting.
Yeah,
he needs to pull things a little tighter.
No, I think it's an interesting idea. I don't know.
Luke, would you wear a pair of Knicks house slippers?
Absolutely.
You would.
Yeah, I remember you guys making those.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys scrambling.
We probably asked you for help.
Yeah, Rebecca, you love slip-ons. You were the inspiration for our Chelsea boot. What do you think?
I'd wear them.
Okay. All right. Well, it's great feedback, and we do take suggestions from customers very seriously, and we'll put that on the list.
A perfect holiday option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Next question: are there plans for an H&W sprung toe last?
An H&W sprung toe last. That's fascinating.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Grant?
I think it's interesting. Hmm.
You broke Grant's brain there. So
I think I need about 5 minutes
Nice
here to
work.
process.
well,
Yeah.
I'll say I do think we've approximated it a little bit with some of like the Prospector, for example. It's not quite the same, but it does offer, I think, that sleeker profile. I do think there's room in the assortment for more 67 heritage boots, along with the Prospector. I don't know that they would necessarily be like that lower arch H&W. But it's an interesting idea. We do have some plans for some additional lasts that should be coming out here pretty shortly. I've teased a few of them in the social media channels. But I don't know. It's an interesting idea. And I'm assuming, I don't know, maybe we'll reach out to you guys and kind of get an idea of like why you think that would be a cool look. Is it for the toe profile? Is it you like a little more room, vertically there? I don't know.
And the 67 heritage boots are coming. They're coming quick.
They are?
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
So there's essentially a 67 Robert coming,
Wow.
a 67 Charlie.
Okay.
So all of the all of the boots that don't have a 67. I'm getting the giggles, Shuyler. Good one.
All right.
I will say there is something about that sprung toe. I think I get more comments in these prospectors that I just put up on the table for everybody than any of my boots, and I think it's because the toe is just like right there.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Have you worn a 67, Luke? No.
No. H&W.
You hate the sprung toe. What about a sprung toe H&W?
I would not enjoy that. I don't think.
Wouldn't.
I'm not seeing the point of it, but I don't know.
Okay.
Right. Wow.
We
Okay.
Personally.
talked about it with women's boots too.
Okay.
When we were originally designing the Becca.
Yeah, there's a Becca 67 on the docket. Yeah.
I think it looks better than the
Okay.
number 2 toe.
Okay. Well, there you
Okay.
go.
Well, now Luke, back to you because you're an H&W guy. You
Yeah.
just don't. Your toes don't feel like they need that.
No.
They're never begging for like, gosh, I need a little bit more vertical space up there.
No, they feel fine. Actually, the pair I'm wearing now is the first time I went with a soft toe, I believe. So,
Oh, it's the
And-
antithesis of a sprung toe.
and
Okay.
there's plenty of room there.
Okay.
So,
I do think that's a cool idea to offer multiple toe heights. It's just another thing that'll be kind of different about what we offer.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Can we have a little history lesson about Nick's? I'm curious about any differences between Nick's custom boots versus Nick's handmade contender versus Nick's handmade boots. I'll speak to this a little bit. Nick's custom boots was kind of the original, at least within the last like 20 years, in terms of the doing business as name and everything. But we wanted to broaden our horizons a little bit and not just be a custom boot shop. And that's really where we started making that change into the handmade side. While we do still do some custom boots, most of our boots are made to order, but maybe not necessarily made to measure because we have so many lasts. It's a little bit of a gray area at this point, but we did want to give the impression to people that they could just buy a pair of boots from us and have them fit great and have them last forever and have them look awesome. Grant, I think you're more tuned in on the contender thing. Can you speak to that?
I'd like to do a little pop quiz. What is a contender, Rebecca?
I'm pretty sure I know. Is it cheating if I actually know the
Oh, you
answer?
know the
Because we've
answer?
had this conversation.
Pass, Luke.
I really don't know, honestly. I know that we had a boot with the contender logo on it. I always thought it was just based off that, but then I heard maybe it was a sewing style or
Okay.
something to do with the
Okay,
sewing
yeah.
Well,
We should also take this opportunity to reveal that you are working on some contender artwork, aren't you?
I have been, yes.
Which is the
Yeah.
original Boxer logo.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's almost ready to go, I guess. I
That's-
thought it was ready to go.
Well, we're going to cross out the contender, I think, and say champ instead,
There you
which
go.
I think would be sweet.
Yeah.
I believe the history is we were all 100% hand welted. Whites had a Hawthorne line, which was their stitch down line. And we also needed a stitch down line. So we called it the Contender. It was the triple stitch construction. So it was a McKay lock stitch with a double row stitch down. And it was the Contender. It was a little bit lower price point, but it contended with the Nix. And the Nix was the hand welted version. So it was always Nix versus Contender. Even when I started here, that was just any customer that called, you'd say, is it a Contender or Nix? And took me a while to figure out what that was. But yeah, we differentiated the stitching a little bit. The Nix had a rounded backstay, and they had a triangle shape sewn blucher. And the Contender was square sewing, and then it had a square backstay. And that's how you knew once you ripped the bottom off what it was originally.
Wow.
So,
Which we were still doing when I got here. I
yeah.
remember the old tickets. They all had
Yes, yeah.
those things specified.
That's right.
And I never figured out which one got which.
The blue tickets were Contenders, if I recall, and then the Nix were pink.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just remember tearing down all the Contenders with the different logos. So
There you
that's
go.
kind of was my first introduction. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was an interesting, branding move. I like the Contender idea. I think it was pretty cool. The Boxer logo we're gonna bring back. It's super cool.
I love it.
Yeah, nice part of our heritage there. Thank you.
Welcome.
Next question: are there any more limited leather runs in the works? Yes, there will always be limited leather runs in the works. We've got some different Predators coming in. We've got some different waxed fleshes coming in. We have some different Wicket options coming in, both from a color and tannage standpoint. So definitely stay tuned for that. We'll always be pushing those. And definitely feel free to reach out to me if there are certain leathers that we haven't worked with that you like to see. Do you guys have any comments on any of the recent leathers that we've brought in? I really like the charcoal, but I did buy that, so that was like I ordered that, so I would like it.
I also liked it. I'm getting my Chelsea's in it. So.
You are.
Ooh.
Well,
I am.
that makes me feel good. Okay,
I'm gonna
awesome.
cut those for you probably. I don't
Wow,
know.
thanks, Luke.
Awesome.
Thank you, Luke, for
Yeah.
doing that.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I was surprised. We sold through it very quickly. So that was awesome. So yeah, we'll keep looking for those and trying to find unique stuff out there that people can latch onto.
Luke, what's on your next leather list?
Probably some natural Chrome XL maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You better go fast on that.
It was my favorite leather until the natural double stuffed, so I went with that first. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, the natural CXLs, I think it's got to be getting pretty low. So if you did want the CXL,
roll up beside, stick it under your office desk, and
that is strictly prohibited. But I would actually, I would just sell customers, listening to this, that you guys should get on that pretty quickly.
Well, I'm nervous.
Can
Rebecca.
someone explain the appeal of navy leather to me? I see that request all the time, and I don't understand who's walking around in blue shoes.
I'm not
like
going to
it.
answer because I'd get in trouble. Go ahead.
I like it. I like it when it's stretched. It kind of gets a little more gray to it, so it's not super blue. So it's kind of this grayish blue.
I have a pair of ink, like pretty deep blue
Oh yeah, I've seen
pairs
yours.
that I could bring in. I don't wear them very often because I'm kind of with you.
I have a
Well,
belt
it's not
made
that
out
I
of
don't
it,
like them.
so-
It's just more that I like other stuff more, I guess.
Well, there's a distinction though. The ink is like
It's
crazy
blue.
blue.
Yeah.
Navy's got
It's really
some
dark.
Got
Yeah.
almost some tealish tones.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
when you're looking at it rolled up, it almost looks like black.
Yeah.
Like, it's so dark.
Then why not just go black?
Yeah.
Is my question.
I don't know. You get the blue undertones. I mean, you stretch it. It looks grayish blue. Yeah. So
All right.
It's not bad looking. We did a lot of that for Japan back in the day. I mean, I think everything we have in house was from some of those runs, but
I think it's cool.
yeah.
Okay. Next question. So, do you plan to offer new color options for the Weather Shield leathers? I'm really looking forward to seeing some light options or something like a Chrome XL number 8. Ooh, that would be wonderful.
A Weather Shield Chrome XL number 8?
Yeah, man. I know.
Wow.
I know.
That's bold.
That's bold.
Mhm.
Not currently. I feel like with us having 3, it's
We're going to do a Navy one, but
No.
color 8.
we have 3. It's it's kind of pricey to maintain all these leathers, honestly, from an inventory standpoint. The fact that we have black, brown, and coyote, and you said a light option, I might suggest looking at the coyote as an option. It's pretty light brown. But no, I was not planning on bringing in any more weather shields.
The user feedback on those, I will say, has been pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's we've got some people out in the field that have got months with it now, and there's a market difference in the water resistance, which is pretty cool.
I thought I think the brown looks awesome.
I think so too.
Yep.
It's really interesting.
Initially, I thought it was a bit boardy. There was one of the people that prototyped it was like, "Holy cow, this is just not breaking in." But then several others have said, "No, it's great leather." And so I was a little bit nervous at the beginning, but it looks like Predator Orange, I think.
A little bit, yeah, or like kind of our old 64 chocolate. Yeah, I think it's a great looking leather.
Yeah.
Will the waterwork boots be offered in a smooth over rough out version?
I don't think they will be. I think, I'll be honest, I don't know enough about the tannage. I think the silicon is put in the drum, so technically it's struck through with the silicon, but I bet you the rough out just probably wouldn't have that repellent look to it.
Yeah, it could be worth testing.
It's worth testing. I mean, I guess without testing it, it seems like it defeats the purpose to do it rough out, but it could be completely wrong.
Okay. Yeah, something to think about. Next question, can discontinued models be rebuilt, or will they be rebuilt as an available model that looks similar? I will say if we don't have the leather available, that can be tough. But we do have most stuff. Like, I don't know. Yeah, there's some stuff we don't have, I guess, like some various CXLs and that sort of thing. But we'll do the best we can, and get it as close as possible. And I think generally we can make you pretty happy with what you end up with. And sometimes I think it can be a great opportunity to try something new. I know one thing we're working on, I brought this up today, is why not give customers the ability to try more things with their rebuilds, and actually, switch into different leathers or switch into different lasts, switch into different configurations. And so that's something that we're actually going to add to the website, and give you guys those options to select that. So, maybe if you had a traveler, you've always wanted to try a lug, et cetera. We'll try and make that possible. Yeah. So I think it's a really nice feature of our boots, and, let you kind of live multiple lives in that upper. A while back, we discussed a possible Reddit only giveaway. I don't have any other social media outlets. That's not true of me, but that's the question asker. I didn't even know it was a regular thing on IG. There was some discussion about possibly doing one on Reddit. I think it's a great idea, and we'll totally do it. And Luke, you're in charge.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. You win.
No, I think that's a good idea. We
probably start with 20 pair.
We'll figure out what an appropriate price is, but it's a great idea. I know that there's not always a ton of crossover with all the different social media channels, so we should probably tailor some of our promotions to the specific channels to give people who are more comfortable in one place, a chance to participate.
And we don't do them on Instagram anymore because the bots just went crazy.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's funny. We're getting big enough now that we're getting victimized by all these scammers, these scam accounts. And then there's even fake websites that sell our stuff, which I am just pretty irritated by, to be honest. So we're trying to sue them and take them down. It's not fun drama.
No, it's the good stuff.
But it's flattering to be duplicated by so many people, but or attempted to be duplicated by so many people. But we know there's only one true Nick's boots, right?
We do.
Good.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on the Chelsea becoming a quick ship?
Yeah, we are.
I don't see any reason why not.
It'll be a quick ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Predator Orange back on quick ship. I think we ran out, and that's why it came off.
Yeah, so quick ship, you'll probably see things fluctuating in there based on leather availability. I mean, the point of quick ship is you'll get it faster, so we don't want to promise you 8 weeks and then run out of leather and tell you it's going to be another 4 to 6 weeks.
But I think we just got a bunch
So-
in. So
Yeah, so it'll probably go back up.
okay. CSA certification plans for our customers north of the border. Yes, we have looked into this. And would like to do it. It's a pretty lengthy process that we've begun, but it is something that we plan on doing. We're actually like implementing some additional, well, I don't know, QC and documentation into the production process that makes it possible for us to pass. So look for that in the next, year maybe or so. Grant, can you talk about this, or Luke? No, you don't know anything about the 67. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You can't answer this question.
Not a fan. Yeah.
Is there a difference in the way the lasts fit in the shape of the toe box?
Yeah, I'd say the 55, I did a video on this that I think is still relevant. It was an early Nix production, but what we did is we took the 55 back in the day and we just kind of grabbed the top of the toe and like pulled it up vertically. And so the circumference is still the same as the 55, but it's stretched vertically. So that means it's a tiny bit narrower up front. We don't advertise it as, hey, if you're going from 55 to 67, you should go wider, because I don't think you should. But you should expect that it's probably going to feel a little narrower before you fully break it in. And so that's one thing. I think the H&W, I've never worn one, Luke.
Well, you got to get on
Ever?
that. Yeah,
Ever.
it's the best.
I don't know what, I think I've tried one on, but
Yeah.
so I don't know.
I have super flat feet, so it feels great.
Have you ever worn a 55?
Just around the shop. Like
Have
office
you
and
worn an
everything.
H&W, Shuyler?
Of course.
Okay, so you would be best to answer 55 versus H&W in the toe box.
I find them to be very similar, but yeah, I find them to be pretty similar. The biggest difference to me is more of the 67, which does have a little bit of a different shape. But now I wear an 11E in all of them, and just fit right in, and it's great.
That's right. What's so
That's
funny,
great.
Rebecca?
Okay.
Do you wear the same size in any of your boots, Grant?
I am kind of a bargain shopper, so if I see a pair like on Quick Ship or RTS, I'll snag it up. So yeah, I've got all kinds of sizes, and once they're all broken in, they all feel the same. So I'm not super picky, and
Okay. I don't know about this. All right. Well, let's say. I mean, I know. I do think you're right. Like given enough time, it's leather, so it should kind of break into your to your foot. I do think. Then maybe not everybody has the willingness to go through the pain, but I don't know. It's an interesting observation. So Grant, what do you have? Like 5, 6, 7?
I think I have 7 pairs of Nix. Most of them are kind of prototypes, but I kind of I hunted for the best size, and so I've tried all the widths more or less. So I'm all the way down to an A up to about a D. So that would span from A, B, C, D. And I think about this all the time because we live in this world, and I cannot feel the difference between my 55Ds and my 55As after break-in. But I could when they were new. And I think I went the A direction. Just a quick story. I'm not going to bore our audience here. But my first pair was D. And I put them on and I said, whoa, there's no firm handshake here. Whoa, these are wide. I got fit wide. But I wore them and I kind of loved them. But then I was kind of convinced that they needed to fit a lot more snug. So then I went down. I got properly sized, air quotes here for the listeners, and went really narrow. And I was like, gosh, these feel narrow. Are you sure? And, the experts at Nix were like, yeah, these are how they're supposed to feel. And I pretended like they felt great, but they didn't. But I was pretty amazed that they did break in. So that's why I got A. I wear my A's and my D's the most. And I can't tell the difference.
No, that's interesting.
I got a weird fitting history with you because
Uh-oh.
you and Nathan sized me at 11.5A on one foot, 11.5B on the other foot,
That was Nathan. Keep going.
with an open instep and a 1/4 inch taken off the back.
Was that me?
That was you and Nathan. Yeah,
Gosh, wow, that was old school Grant.
it was old school, which is
What
just
year was that?
2019.
Okay.
So now I'm 11C.
Well, I think you were
Yeah.
probably really picky when you came in store.
No,
You
not
were
at all.
like,
No,
you know-
no. I was like, do your work. Yeah,
Well, Luke, I apologize. I hope we've compensated for that.
there's fine. They feel great.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
since then you've changed
I'm just
sizes.
straight up 11C.
11C.
Yeah.
That's what I remember telling Nathan. I think he's an 11C, and he went down the mismate route with
I
you.
think I remember that.
I think it's a good story. It's nice. I think it's great to have the same size on both feet.
It is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Well,
it.
and that's where I was like a 6.5 C on one and a 7D on the other, my first pair. And then I quickly went to the same size
Yeah.
on both.
I just find it funny. Like you're really pushing the same size. But originally, listen,
Yeah,
I love the change. Yeah.
How do I make it right? I mean, I'm so sorry.
No, it's
that I
great.
put you
It's
through
great.
that.
No, I think it's wonderful. Yeah. I like it.
That's funny.
What are the factors that influence which and how many models are under quick ship? Just giving customers the ability to fully customize any model affect how many models are on quick ship. Rebecca, do you mind speaking to that?
Yeah. So like I mentioned a little bit ago, part of what's in quick ship is determined by leather availability. So if we get a bunch of leather in, you'll probably see those in quick ship. And then what was the second part of that question?
By having more customizable models, does that affect do we
the
have a
lead
balance
times.
between quick ship
I see.
quantity and customizable quantity?
Yeah, so the way we schedule tickets, we have a certain number of boots we can get through production in a day, and we've set up an allotment for certain types of orders. So anything that has a standard lead time gets so many boots in production a day. Quick ship gets so many boots in production a day. And that's been kind of a balancing, trying to figure out how to make sure we're maintaining our stated lead times for different kinds of things. So no, if there's an increase in made to order boots, that'll affect the lead time for made to order boots possibly, but it wouldn't affect quick ship.
Okay. And I should probably point out we've generally kept the quick ship lead times around the same, and actually they've dropped periodically depending on what our assortment looked like there.
Yep.
But yeah, it hasn't. I don't think there's been a major impact on lead times because of our quick ship allocation or anything like that.
Right.
I'd like to see how it's made video with the new polyurethane installation. That's a great idea. That is on the docket. When is that coming out?
It's on the docket.
It's on the docket.
Okay. All right. Well, it's on the docket.
Wait, isn't it done?
I thought it was. Anyway, we'll check it out. Does insulation go over or under the safety toe? Do you still use the extra layer of leather between the vamp and the liner?
Yes.
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 What about the safety toe?
It would have to
I think it goes
go under,
under.
I think
right?
it goes under.
It'll
my
go
assumption.
under, yeah. So you'll feel your leather liner,
Yeah.
against your foot. The insulation layers between that, and they all go
Yeah.
around the safety toe.
Will the Howard ever be MTO again? I'm interested in a 64 brown pair with raw midsoles. Raw midsoles are a very popular option around here.
Beeswax or
Remember Lucas got the raw midsoles. Anyway,
I like the beeswax one.
yeah. So we are actually transitioning to more of a beeswax look on our natural edge dressing. We'll still have the natural edge dressing, but I think the beeswax is lighter and it looks a little more natural and
more raw.
more raw. So you'll be seeing more of that. So I think you can get very close to that with our standard beeswax option. I didn't know the Howard came off MTO.
Yeah, I was just thinking about. I'm looking on the website now. Yeah, I think it's probably a merchandising oversight.
Okay, yeah, we'll take a look at that. Thank you for bringing that up.
The classic configuration gives you quite a bit of customization. So I think maybe the MTO maybe morphed into the classic.
Okay, because you could get a 64 brown, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the
Yeah,
staple.
and we don't offer raw midsoles as an option, do we?
No, some of the MTOs will have beeswax only, but I've never seen a raw midsole. Raw.
Lucas has one.
Yeah, Lucas has one.
Grassburger.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. Wish Lucas had.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, so we'll take a look at that. Appreciate that. Just wondering what H&W stands for. Heritage Northwest is what that stands for. It's a very old last, and it's a great last. Luke loves it a lot. I love it a lot. It's a great last.
I should try it.
You definitely need to try it.
I'll try it.
We be adding more leathers to the 8-inch Ridgeline Quick Ship. I think Quick Ship is getting some momentum, especially coming into the summer. And I would like to see the merch team put some more Ridgeline options together and make that available to our customers. And so that's you, Grant.
Yeah.
Just to be clear.
Yeah. There's 8 options on there under the Quick Ship right now.
8 Ridgelines.
Yep. 1.
Is that true?
2. It's true.
Rebecca?
Yeah. Wax Flesh, Predator Orange, Black Rough Out, Walnut Rough Out, 64 Smooth,
Brown CXL?
64 Rough Out, Black Weather Shield, Brown Weather Shield.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So good job, merch team. Good job.
Good job, merch team.
Yeah.
Brown CXL. So like Horween's been pretty rough to deal with this year still, like I feel like a lot of the other suppliers have kind of caught up, and so we're still having some issues with just lead times with them. And so I think we've been a little more hesitant to make those classic CXLs as prevalent across the site for fear of kind of overselling them. So hopefully we can address that just from an operational standpoint. But in the meantime, that's maybe why you don't see like brown and black CXLs as prevalently as maybe you used to in the past. It's kind of a bummer. But I don't know. Horween's they're in the basketball and football business now. So I think they still provide shoe leather, but I'm just kidding. But yeah, so
it's a good segue to the football boot, that we did on Super
we did
Bowl.
do a football boot, but we don't want to sell it.
I want to sell it.
You want to sell it?
I want to just sell that. I want to throw touchdown passes with that.
I think it looks weird when it gets banged up. It kind of looks pink.
Don't bang it up. So throw it around.
It looks awesome, like until you start.
Just gonna throw a little polish on her.
I don't know if that's true.
Some people like pink leather. So
well, it's an intense debate here over the football boot. So if you have any opinions, we'd love to hear them. That is it for the Q&A session. Do you, Rebecca, or Lucas?
I'm Luke.
What's your full name?
It's Lucas.
Got him.
It is. Yeah.
I know. It's
Spell it.
It's on medical insurance.
LUCUS.
Oh, nah.
Which is super weird. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Looks like lupus. Okay.
Yep. There's a dumb story behind it, but I don't know if that's podcast.
What's your
material.
dumb story?
My mom called me Lucas, LUCUS, so people wouldn't call me Lucas. Yeah.
Just looking out for you.
Looking out for me.
What a great mom.
Yeah. Now everyone knows on the podcast.
That's a heartfelt story.
My mom
right
was
there.
awesome that way. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Shuyler, some people have a little bit difficult time pronouncing your name. Don't you have a story behind that as well?
It's not. Yeah, sure. It's Shuyler, Shuyler, but my parents like the name Skylar, and then they somehow thought the C was silent or something. And I just, whenever anyone asks me about my name, I just say it's a product of the 1980s.
Yeah.
Which was an interesting time, right? Yep, it was.
yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
See, I don't feel like the 80s were, and I mean every generation's interesting, but like normally it's like the 70s. Like there was a lot more interesting names that came out of the 70s. No,
Lucas.
like Lucas.
Lucas is not interesting.
I feel like
Well,
my
that's-
generation's pretty bland as well.
Yeah.
I grew up in the Star Wars time, so
was all
No, the
Rebecca
80s
I
Flair.
feel like
80s
everybody in the 80s had the same name. You know,
No,
there's
so the
like
80s was
Scott
when
and
people
Matt.
getting into the weird names, and they wanted like
Really? Okay.
yeah, like their heritage names. You know, that's why you started seeing a lot of Shannons and Kellys,
Okay.
Irish. You know, Jennifers,
Okay. But
Jessicas. You know,
But that's not weird.
well, it was at the time. It's just we've become accustomed to them.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
you grew up, you went to high school with probably 14 Jessicas.
I have a sister named Jennifer.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go. But people wanted to get back to their roots. My Skylar's a Dutch name. My parents thought they were, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Rebecca, do you have a story about your name?
All of my siblings got like family names. And I was like, oh,
Oh.
cool. What's my name? And my parents were like, oh, we just liked it. But
Okay.
I was going to be named Phoebe, I think. So
Okay.
I'm glad they went with Rebecca instead.
No, Phoebe's a cool name.
I'm not a Phoebe, though.
You don't know that.
You would have grown into your name.
What is Phoebe was a Greek goddess, right?
I don't
pretty
know.
sure.
I just
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
Friends.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
no.
No, you gotta go further
go
back
further
than
back,
friends.
buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm friends as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Phoebe.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the time today, to you three, and to anyone who listened to it. Please continue to reach out with questions. We'll do our best to answer them, and really appreciate you stopping by. I hope you have a great day, and thanks again. Bye, guys.